What's going on, y'all? It's Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. As you can see, following up my Apollo Day 1 and Day 2 recaps. If you want to check those out, those are my recent videos on the channel. Probably have it tagged at the end, especially the Day 2 one. You can see now I do have my Rum Nitty versus Daylyt review, which I would say bar for bar review, but I'm not going to kid myself. It would be impossible, given the styles of these two, to catch every single bar here. But it is my extremely in-depth review, my rewatch, notes taken, and I obviously had strong opinions on this battle the first time around. I'm still going to have strong opinions here, and a lot of this is done because I see some fans in denial. I see some stupid shit being said, and I was even 50-50 on doing a review for this one because of how extensive it would be and already having talked about it. But a battle that is this important deserves its whole own little look at it. And if there's any other battle that I might review from Apollo, it might be later in the week. We'll see if I even get to it. I'm not promising it whatsoever. I've promised a lot of video ideas that I just don't end up getting to execute on. But Ill Will versus Jay the Nightwing, to me, was by far the battle of the weekend. So we have the most important battle that happened, and then the best battle that happened. I'm thinking about doing a similar review for that one. You guys let me know in the comments if you'd like to see Ill Will versus Jay the Nightwing review, maybe later on in the week. But we do have Daylyt versus Rum Nitty here. There's already been a bunch of talk about the battle. Many of you already kind of know my thoughts on the battle, but with now the full due diligence being done, let's start with the first round. So first round of the battle, of course, starts on Nitty. It is a couple cool bars to start. Playing to the Houston crowd, the lean, clean up your act opener, I thought was cool. How do you beat rock, paper, scissors, shoot? I thought that was cool as well. And then he touches quickly on an angle that he'll talk about more in this first, more throughout the battle, and he has higher highs out of it. But there's no other way to put it. It is a gay angle, and that is because Light has said a lot of suspect shit, done a lot of suspect shit. This is Daylyt that we're talking about here, and it was definitely a heavy point of attack for Nitty, really through all three rounds of the battle. But he is he wants us to forget about light flashing like Agent K, Men in Black bar, ties that into the Orion's belt. Now you got the little alien in your face. For those that have seen Men in Black, when homie's like head opens up and it's the little alien running the person. I thought that was dope. The Street Fighter bonus stage, he's gonna kick the bucket. I thought that was dope. And then you get this real hectic moment here where he says, pull up in the white beam of light, you'll get abducted. And then that's when Nitty throws on the alien mask, which him going first, I can imagine, since Light did the ski mask in his first round, if Light had done the ski mask and this came out, would it have been crazier? Because it was kind of a moment, I'm not gonna lie. Nitty looked like a fucking praying mantis. It was a ridiculous mask, and he wore it for like a bit of time. It was bizarre, but he was still rapping good stuff with the mask on. There's just a lot going on in a short period of time, very early into the battle. But he has the he was trying to play hardball, but you're going to the ship. Obviously the movie Hardball, we're going to the ship. Talk about the championship game, but I thought that bar was dope. The sundown town, kill him after daylight, I thought that was crazy. The safe light concept I thought was dope in there, like the broken windows, safe light repair, safe light replace. I thought that was crazy. Daylyt talks about Daylyt. He lives out, all the way out there. He's gotten Hollywood on us. He moved away. He lives by the safe crackers. Me too. I thought that was dope. The 6 days of creation and then get laid to rest after that. The pocket and performance leading up to that bar I thought was crazy. Gets stopped dead in his tracks like Machiavelli. Fire. He brings back the A-word the colored bar versus A-word, choke you out until I see blue and green, and then says, I'll press light in the same order like Simon Says. I thought that was extremely creative, and really I think he's like found his full momentum here in the first. He is a types of light scheme, and there is so many schemes in this battle, both of them, obviously, particularly the way Daylyt raps. If I had to tally up every word that he used for word association, this would not be a watchable review. It wouldn't be fun. I'd probably like battle rap less. So I'm going to say schemes to kind of, and some of the references in the light scheme that Nitty had, like UV, infrared, right? I'm not going to say every goddamn word for any schemes that these guys had. I'm just going to tell you now. But I thought the scheme was cool. And then he has the prism bar, probably his best bar of the battle. Or I wouldn't even say best bar of the battle, but best bar of the first round, one of his best of the battle. Talking about Light once again, when he said he wanted to fuck Diddy, which he did, very bizarre. And that like conversational rebuttal of Daylyt being like, Diddy fucked a lot of y'all's favorite artists, like, can we not? You know what I'm saying? This is not helping your case whatsoever. Hope you don't go to prison, because Light will go in clear but then come out Light will go in straight but then come out a rainbow. It's a prism and you shine a light through a prism. That is ridiculous. That is tailored. It's angle punching as well. So there's just on multiple fronts, that bar is fucking amazing. They fly out Light with his mama. I'll be locked up like Akon when Light in his motherland. I thought that was dope. Quill can't hang one round with Webb like a dream catcher. I thought that was creative, and that was like quiet. I really didn't get reaction. Probably one of the more well-written bars of Nitty's first. But anyone that says Nitty's just a puncher, I mean, just quickly before we get into Light's round, like, this round has angles, showmanship, performance, writing that goes beyond just punching. So if you're just looking at this being like, oh, Nitty just punched in the first, like, you're just hating, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? We all hate on things in life, but you're just not allowing yourself to actually witness what's going on in front of you or comprehend it. You've decided the guy's a puncher to you, and I don't think anybody really gives a shit at this point if you want to stay in the past while he clearly has progressed. But then Daylyt goes in the first. Anyone holding up the 4 got it bar, I thought that was cool. Lands a big one early. Even the creator has a creator, and I'm going to show you the difference between an alien and a god. That was very, very fire. And then from there, we get into heavy scheming. It starts out with kind of like a liquid flooding scheme, catch it on stream, the flooding, couple other like water like references in there, which he brings up a bit later as well, and then a lot of biblical references. And this is not immediately talking about, I believe it's Exodus 23:9 he mentions later, which is talking about aliens in the Bible, and he's said that's his big roundabout way of this round being so tailored to Rum Nitty. But really, there's just a shit ton of Bible references strung together with word association, and it's wrapped pretty great, because that's really the power. I don't think when you look into all of these Bible and the flooding and the way it ties together, rapture, all of this stuff, when you really look at the bars, it's not like nobody said this. There's been a million Bible bars in battle rap, but it's the fact that he's taken maybe like 40 of them, and he wraps them together pretty seamlessly. And some people, that is like the end all be all. And I wouldn't say that there's not skill to it, but he's really not addressing Nitty, and he's really not saying anything, I think, too crazy for portions of this battle. Day, I do like a couple bars in here. Day on the rise ties into your morning. I thought that was dope. And then I thought it was like kind of, he was doing good, but needed a lot more by the time he put the ski mask on, which is obviously supposed to be a level up for Light. That's when he has the Exodus 23:9 tying into the Grey's Anatomy bar. I thought was dope. The little domino effect bar, the 2x5, 10, kind of did some math in between there and leading up to the domino effect bar. I thought that was dope too. They're wondering what you're going to do with the pen. They're just here to see me, to watch me and see if I can do it again. Kind of a little bit of like legacy level up talk in there. I didn't mind that very much. More, once again, back into the biblical references for like long periods of time in this verse, where it's not nothing. If you go in, there's tons of references, but this is not incredible over the top rapping. You know what I'm saying? He's scheming. People have been doing schemes and word association. Calls himself the savior of battle rap, because of course he does. His own Men in Black bar was dope. I got a drum for Rum, and anyone in his area can get 51. I actually thought that was fire. The Howard the Duck bar, the alien Howard the Duck bar, I thought was cool. The Mars, the soon as I see him, ARs, and then he had a spill rum for the dead homies. We have heard that a million times. Listen, Light's first, not ass. It's decent. There's some good bars in here. There's a lot of scheming. There's no way in hell he won this first round versus Rum Nitty. And I know that that's going to, whatever, light fans are light fans, and they're going to say what they have to say. But this is a clear, even more clear on the rewatch, 1-0 for Rum Nitty. He out-rapped him, he outperformed him, his content is better, and it was a clear 1-0 lead going into the second round. Then, of course, we have the second round of the battle, which for anyone that knows anything, has heard anything about this battle, watch my recap. You know that there's not much to talk about in the competitive side here, more controversy than anything. But I do think this is the best round of the battle from Rum Nitty here in the second. I think it's a legacy round for him. And it starts out with this whole kind of like sunset scheme leading into this story about him getting get back for his homie, saying we hopped out the equinox the same night just to get even day. I thought that was dope. Into the season change bar, into the seasonal scheme, it springs forward. The second it spring forward, you fall back. I thought that was dope. But then it leads into what's really the stretch of material that I think is just, it shows the difference in this battle, man. He is the, if it was up to me, it won't be no daylight savings. I'm from Arizona, which is fire, kind of a bar reflecting, I lived in Arizona for 6 years. So maybe it hits a little different for me. Obviously no daylight savings in Arizona. But then, after landing that initial haymaker, he has didn't B Magic have a daylight savings bar already? Well, times have changed. Crazy, like two-piece haymaker. It's like getting double credit for the concept. I thought that was hard. I've seen people go from a mansion to an air mattress, blow up and lose it all overnight. I thought that was dope. I will say the one part of this round I do not like, he has a dog scheme here. I've already discussed in the first round how I feel about really schemes, specifically dog schemes. I hate with the passion. So even Nitty, with all of his genius, I'm really not going for it. However, he did have a really good operation bar in here. Bring the organs out to a red nose light, like Operation. Obviously, you played the Operation game when the nose goes off. I thought that was dope. Ends it with a every dog has its day bar. Didn't love the scheme like the Operation bar. From there, he is an angle he attacks just for a couple bars, but I thought it was really unique to this matchup and one of the better little approaches that Nitty took in between all the litany of angles he had. And it's talking, kind of comparing resume. He says, excuse me, I bodied Rock before you. It's a bit of a fib. He did not do that. I smoked Shine. I even made Lux jump so I made it to the rooftop before daylight like a gargoyle. Oh my God, that whole lead up to that gargoyle bar was fire. And then he says, I didn't expect day to be this low. It's taking you forever to get loaded. So this angle, like, of course you're going to hear angles. Daylyt and Lux haven't battled after all the noise, but I think it hits a little different from Nitty, who just battled Lux and had a classic battle. Probably the type of battle people always thought Daylyt and Lux would actually have. So not only is the angle you would see coming because of the history of that matchup, but it's like, hey, I've actually, like, you do all this talking, you get this status, but I'm the one that actually battled Lux and went out and had the classic with him. So I love that little two-bar approach there, but specifically the gargoyle bar was a highlight. And then he has his 2K scheme, playing off of Daylyt's, obviously, I'm not going to say infamous, but like famous MK Mortal Kombat scheme versus Chilla Jones. Was it versus Chilla or was it versus Clips? I'm a little bit tired making this review, but everyone remembers the Mortal Kombat scheme that Daylyt had, and he names Nitty names a litany of the 2K My Player badges that you can get. Like I said, cannot write down every single piece of these schemes because the video will be ridiculously long, but I did like the limitless range through a brick wall, pick dodger. Thought that bar and the unpluckable bar at the end too were both really, really good. A little bit of showmanship, playing off of a signature move of your opponent as well. Pull it down the block, Daylyt, like a blackout curtain. They're going to have to do the Batmobile to check your pulse is how he ends it. So very, very good. I thought, once again, well-rounded, you know what I'm saying, like all around, many different facets of battle rap in the second from Nitty. And anyone that knows, most of you know what Daylyt's second was, but if you don't, it was a fucking disgrace. That's what it was. He starts out with this Garden of Eden proceed bar to the Mass Appeal bar, and then from there he chokes. There's like a little interruption in the crowd. He chokes, he runs it back from the beginning, he chokes again, he calls time, right? Oh my God, guy just called time, like less than a minute into his round. Nitty's like, please don't fuck up this battle, you know what I'm saying? So then Daylyt tries to rap again, he chokes again, he calls time on himself again, Nitty goes to rap. Now Daylyt wants to rap again. It was a goddamn zoo, and anyone... He's a couple bars. Once he got it back, he did rap for a little. He had this Achilles wordplay concept. Achilles, now you got a torn legacy. It's actually pretty clever. Couple of those like pretty clever bars. But even then, he timed his second pretty quickly. And people are even saying, yo, what if he choked on purpose? And it was a metaphor to show this. And for those people, man, die. Stop living. Stop breathing. Because I don't think that we can help you. I'm sorry, there's no other way for me to say it, man. You cannot be that mentally contorted for a battler where we're just now like, the choke was actually a metaphorical concept. I don't want to live in a world with people that are doing weird shit like that. It is okay to lose. Doesn't make the guy not a legend. Maybe makes him a little bit overrated, but doesn't make him not extremely fire as well. And, spoiler alert, his third in this battle is really, really, really good. You know what I'm saying? He's trying in this battle. His first is decent. Even after he choked, he tried to get his second back, and he had some decent material. He just choked. He lost his place. He was really weird about it. He tried to I'm losing. I'm just going to kill the battle for a second. I'm happy that whatever decency the man has kind of overruled, and he just tried to get through his second round. But Daylyt completely throws away the second round of this battle. Not only was it 2-0 Nitty, it was 2-0 Nitty in dominant fashion heading into the third round of the battle. And then you have the third, which ends up being the most competitive, like back and forth on either side, probably what people wanted from all three rounds of this battle. But Nitty has some struggle talk to start as well. Told my mom I worked at a phone repair shop because I was dealing with crack sales. I thought that was dope. The electric chair bar I thought was cool too. The spine epidural shot I thought was cool. And for the most part, he's actually super consistent in this third. I just think the peaks relaxed from his first and his second, where he had those signature Nitty top haymaker bar of the battle worthy bars, and he still has some very great bars in this third, but for the most part it's more about just consistently putting some jabs together. Is probably the best way that I could put it. He said over my dead body, defibrillators. I thought that bar was crazy. They'll be surprised if I'll be surprised if the doctor's able to if they bring you back light like Aunt Vivian. That was fire. Yeah, you should have kind of take shots at Punch, TD Punch, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, with all the ties of Daylyt being a TD, I believe he's signed under them. The SZA, the way you were playing with SZA Paper Punch, I thought that was dope. And then he has his, his jab overhand move. Ironically, speaking of jabs earlier, he has the Don King bar leading up into the you went too far to take it back, like a drawstring. I thought that was dope. You're going to have to find it in yourself to make it out, like a Saw scene. And you'll never see Top Dog again, like Rawstein, which was crazy. Obviously, T-Top's dog, Briz Rawstein. So that whole lead up, every bar in there counts for something, but I thought the Briz Rawstein bar was super crazy. Heard Kendrick shouted you out at the Grammys. Let's see if he speaks at the next ceremony. Crazy. I'll even go to the funeral, hug everybody, even extend my hand a punch like Dao Zim. I thought that was cool. The Vixen the Assassin bar I thought was dope in there too. So even his third, man, technically I guess it'd be the weakest of his three rounds. Maybe it's even a bit better than his first, but that's saying a lot. I think this is really one of the more complete Nitty 3-round performances that you're going to find throughout his career in terms of every aspect of battle rap, the quality from first round to third, the I'm more mature now. When I was young, I would have stabbed him. Ran it back in the day when I was young. Ran it back in the day when I was young, but I'm not a kid anymore. I thought that was dope. The whistle, then a flashlight, like top flight security. Revisits, you know what I'm saying? The puff angle. You got you got turned on. Light got turned on by Puff like a vape pen, which is very disgusting, but a very good bar. Called that man J1, which is ridiculous. Then he has the Dave Blunt's bar, pretty much to end his third. So another like extremely formidable round by Nitty. And then finally, Daylyt does the Daylyt shit that people wanted to see him do, right? He is the fundamental bar to start, which turns into an angle kind of criticizing Rum's gun-heavy street style, which we've heard a lot of kind of bars that'll like flip Rum style against them, but I like the it's almost like for you to win, you have to lose yourself. I actually thought that was very clever. From there, it gets into the oversaturation of battle rap kind of rant within his rounds. The food for thought, appetite, playing off the URL app. I thought that was dope. Makes fun of the spaces for a second, but ends up giving a shout out to Eunice, kind of stating in a weird way like how Eunice is actually the one who could be the next star, but for the most part it's a lot of regurgitated styles and copy and paste styles out there, and I think we can all kind of agree with that. I think Light sometimes gets a lot of credit for stating the obvious, but really crafted it beautifully in this third. And while he is an incredible rapper and he shows that in the first and second, the third, he finds his confidence on the content and the rapping front. So it's not just like the raps are really good, but there's not a lot being said, or at least that's really strong being said. The content is matching the way that he's putting it together syllable wise, and from here it's really just special, to be honest with you. He is the it's saying that people criticize him for his big words. Just because you don't understand him don't mean he's not dying. Haymaker, very good haymaker. Probably something I don't think I've heard that concept actually from another pen, and I feel like for like a super complex pen-based battler like Daylyt, it's like the perfectly crafted punch any of them could said, but that's why he does get credit, you know what I'm saying, for the writing that he does have. The first Apollo bar, I thought that was dope. Kind of has schemes a little bit here of kind of like rum and like drinking, like the rum part of Rum's name, the drink every week. That's what he's designed to do. He's poor. He's poor. I thought that was dope. To get me back, kind of bragging on his price. They broke the bank. They broke the bank because we're on the brink of extinction. I thought that was fire. The distilled bar was great. I cannot overstate how great he is rapping through this as well. And I've said that's the power of Daylyt's style. It's not always what's being said, although he's cooking at a high level in this third. The way he's rapping, like, battle rap, you know what I'm saying? So to rap at this level, it's almost like you do understand when he gets in this bag why he gets not to the level that some people do it to, some of you sickos, but really, really incredible third so far. The rum making, the whole scheme about like how rum's kind of made, the bring his gal in, what I did is leader like, I thought that was fire. The message fruitful, it'll bury ya. I thought like little clever stuff like that back to back. The firm meant it, I thought that was crazy. Prohibition, only thing I got for rum is this double barrel. All those gun bar critiques, at the end of the day, one of his best bars of the battle is the double barrel bar. Make you a whining spirit. I thought that was crazy. Spin rum with a K. I'll mark 'em. I thought that was fire too. Even the substance abuse bar towards the end of his third, I think that was truly what Daylyt looks like at his best. Even with that being said, I think the third is debatable, to be honest with you, and that just speaks to how good Rum's third was as well. But I do still have Daylyt winning the third on rewatch. I thought that he did reach a high level. I have it more by an edge, but almost like a comfortable edge in a sense in this third round. And you wish that he would have 3 rounds of this. I don't think that he didn't try in a sense. Like, I think that he is a decent enough first where you can't say there's like a low effort. The second, he just kind of fucks up. It happens to people, you know what I'm saying? He's not immune to what could happen to any battle rapper. But I just think his third just generally was his best round of the battle. Was it too little too late for the win? Yes, but was it respectable? Maybe adds to another Daylyt battle if we want to see it, or at least brings this performance from more. I call the guy second. I call the fucking disgrace, and his third is like close to perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's like a very, very good round. So respectable ending for Daylyt. He gets the third, which still brings me to calling this battle 2-1 clear in the first and second for Nitty. And that is my full review here for Nitty versus Daylyt. Sorry if it's one of the longer single battle reviews that I've done and more wordy. It's a wordy ass battle. We know the pen heavy battlers that we have here, and it's kind of a twofold thing before I'm out of here. And it's really just to speak on either battler's kind of legacy, because battles like this kind of call for that in a sense, right? First of all, with Daylyt, I have been critical of him leading up to this, and obviously here in the review. And I think Daylyt is a top 50 battle rapper of all time. I think he's not just a top 5 pen of all time, he's really a top 3 pen of all time. I mean, when you think of the pen category, he is synonymous with it. He is extremely fire. His body of work, although with a lot of antics and gimmicks in it, also has a lot of great shit as well. However, there is people that were talking about Daylyt like he is truly in the GOAT conversation. Like, after seeing that Rock performance, there was just such an uptick of people that are like, yo, he's better than everyone. Like, he's truly like one of the best alive, and almost talking about him like he's in an unbeatable sense when he's been beat many, many times before. You know what I'm saying? He probably has a losing record overall. And that doesn't wash away the classic versus Chilla Jones, the classic ass whooping of Rich Dollars, the classic with Charlie Clips. Obviously, the Tay Rock performance is an all-timer. I had him beating Calico in Detroit. Like, he's done a lot of reputable things, but this kind of unbeatable label that he got was extremely overstated. And then he meets not just an equal, but someone that I thought and kind of proved to be better than him in the battle with Nitty. And I just thought, Daylyt's power is within his rapping. And I still think you could argue after this, he is a better rapper. The flows, the pockets, the syllable structure. But in terms of a creative, who writes the most creative and best shit, that goes to Nitty on this one. I think he kind of proved that in this battle too. He is the higher highs of the battle for the most part. The bars that you really walk away with and look at in a more creative sense, just leveled up on him in the first 2 rounds. And granted, he choked in the second, but he's trying in the first. I just think he was overpowered by someone who is, I think, on an all-time scale for sure better than him, but clearly, I think in modern day battle rap, and there's not much debate, and this proves it, that Nitty is a better battle rapper than Daylyt. Does a battle like this make me be like, oh, Daylight's not actually a legend, his whole career is fraudulent? No, I just hope it opens the eyes to some people that were putting a great legend in a category that even a legend sometimes doesn't need to be into. I mean, they're all legends when you get to some certain level, but this is not a GOAT candidate type of guy. And I feel like this battle is just waking a couple people up to that were still just looking at the Rock performance and thinking that's just the man's whole career. And then as for Nitty, this is a career W for him, especially with kind of, no pun intended, the light that Light's name was in going into the battle. There's almost like this, I'm seeing people run Nitty's God tier after this. I can't even get in that whole conversation because I think God tier's only got like 3 or 4 people in it. I don't necessarily think it includes either of these gentlemen, all due respect, but I do view Nitty, and I think he's been in crazy all-time conversations, but especially after a performance like this, following the Loaded Lux Classic, I believe that Nitty is a top 5 battle rapper of all time. Now, maybe you just put him at 5 on the list, and at the very, very least, I think he's heavy in that conversation, but his body of work is ridiculous. Now, at this point, he's battled the likes of Iron Solomon, Sue Surf, Loaded Lux, Daylyt, Ilmac, and the list goes on and on. Tay Rock, K-Shine, obviously New Jersey Twerk, a lot of these Battle of the Year winners, you know what I'm saying? Iron Solomon, him and Av, the classic that was, him and Loaded Lux, him and Geechee Gotti, the first time was great, the second time even better for 150K. So it's becoming such a storied career, and I feel like in the last year or two, after a long time where Nitty was in that kind of conversation with some other battlers with the high-risk, low-reward title, now there's 2 or 3 real matchups left on the board for him at a high level, and he's done that all while still giving the shots, all while still being like overly active. I don't even love how active Rum Nitty is at times, but you can't question there's different paths to success, and this guy's an all-timer, and for the past 5 years, a couple years ago, I thought he was clearly the best battle rapper in the world. I think that combo is a little bit more up for debate right now, but wins like this and performances like this one here versus Daylyt, shows why he's still in that conversation and still some people's pick for it. And overall, just adds another feather into the cap of one of the best hats the game has ever seen, in a sense, right? But that is my full thoughts here in the battle, man. Would love to hear your guys' opinions in the comments down below on Daylyt, on Rum Nitty, on the battle, on where they go from here and their legacies as a whole. But it's been J Smo Reviews again here, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man. Peace.